Hello, boys and girls. Today we got to start our day one of our real deal writing. This is our informative how-to culminating task. So we get to put together all the things that we've learned about how-to essays, and now we're going to show what we know by doing 5 days worth of writing. And at the end, we will have an amazing how-to essay completed. So let's take a look at what our assignment actually is. Here is your assignment details. It says, your class has decided to put together a magazine about how to prepare for the fall season. For your part in the magazine, you've decided to write an informational article about how to carve a pumpkin. Your article will be read by other students, teachers, and parents. Using information from the source number 1 article and sources 2 and 3 videos, develop a main idea about what it takes to carve a pumpkin. Choose the most important information from the sources to support your main idea. Then write an informational article several paragraphs long. Clearly organize your article and support your main ideas with details from the sources. Now begin work on your informational article. Manage your time carefully so you can plan, write, revise, and edit the final draft of your informational article. And then down here, there are things to remember that we want to include in our writing. It says a well-written informational article has a clear main idea, is well organized and stays on topic, has an introduction and conclusion, uses transitions, uses details from the sources to support the main idea, develops ideas fully, uses clear language, and follows rules of writing with punctuation, spelling, and grammar. All right, so now that we've read the whole thing, I wanted to point out a few items here, and I've highlighted these just to remind us of what our real assignment actually is. So your assignment is you're going to be writing an informational article. Now we can just think of this as an essay. All right, and this is about right here, how to carve a pumpkin. And I think most of us have in our lifetime at some point carved a pumpkin into like a jack-o'-lantern. And if not, you're going to find some information on how to do that in the next couple slides. But we're going to write how to carve a pumpkin. Now we are going to look at 3 sources, 1 article and 2 videos. And we're going to take some information from the article and the video to help put into our essays. But remember, we have to make sure it's clearly written. We have a main idea, which means we're going to tell the reader what we're going to teach them. And we have to make sure that we teach them those, how to do it in the steps 1, 2, and 3 that are really clear. And for every step, we want to make sure we add a lot of details and examples and tips to help the reader understand how to actually carve a pumpkin. So you're going to make sure, of course, you're watching the video already, but then come back and you can look at source number 1 again. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read source number 1. Now, this is an informational article that we found on News ELA. I'm going to go ahead and read it. It goes to the next slide too. But we're going to use any information we can find from this article, and you can use that information in your essay as long as you put it into your own words. Okay, this is called the professional scoop on scooping out that pumpkin goop. Danny Williamson always tricked or treated in a town away from his home. That's why he never carved pumpkins as a child. Now Williamson is 62. Williamson's partner, Rusty Taylor, brought pumpkins into his life 25 years ago. Taylor was shopping when a farmer offered him 7 pumpkins for $10. Taylor bought them. He came home and said, "Guess what?" Now Taylor and Williamson are expert carvers. Every year, they carve up to 55 pumpkins. They display the pumpkins outside their house. They carve pumpkins from books like Bunnicula, Lily's Purple Plastic Purse, and Harry Potter. Neighbors come by every Halloween to see what they have carved. Taylor and Williamson have some pumpkin carving tips. Picking the perfect ones. Types of pumpkins. Round orange pumpkins with curved stems look perfect. They are hard to cut though. They have tough skin and their insides are stringy. Mammoth gold. Pumpkins are better. The skin is easier to cut and it's easier to remove the seeds. Say no to the perfect pumpkins. Taylor and Williamson like pumpkins of all different shapes and colors. They like tall, short, orange, green, white, and spotted pumpkins. When to buy? Wait until it's close to Halloween and get the best price, or to get the best price. All right, putting on your rubber gloves. It's about to get messy. How to hollow. Wear rubber gloves or your hands will be stained. Line the table with plastic tablecloth. Game plan. Break up the work. Hollow out the pumpkins and remove the seeds one night. Keep the pumpkin in a cool place. Then carve the pumpkin on Halloween. Clean up. Place the pumpkin guts in double-lined grocery bags and place it in the trash can. How to carve. How to use patterns. Taylor recommends photocopying pictures from children's books to make the pattern. Make a photocopy that is bigger and darker than the original picture. Then stick the pattern to the pumpkin with masking tape or painter's tape. You can trace the pictures onto the pumpkin with a pencil. Best tools. Taylor and Williamson buys packets of pumpkin carving tools. They are often on sale the day after Halloween. Carving tips. Carve the hardest part of the pattern first. Don't take out the pumpkin's flesh until the very end, or your carving could cave in. And don't worry about making a mess. When we make a mess, Williamson says, we turn it into something else. Nobody likes a rotten pumpkin. How to keep. How long the pumpkins will last depends on the weather. Pumpkins last longer in cold, rainy weather. Candles. Buy large, flat tea light candles, which will last longer. Taylor and Williamson put 2 candles inside each pumpkin. All right, so they gave us a lot of really good tips about what kind of pumpkins we can use, when to buy them, how to get out all the messy gunk on the inside, what we can carve, and how we can keep them fresh. So you can go back and reread this again if you want more information to include into your how-to essay. Now, in addition to reading the article, there's 2 videos, and I'm going to let you watch these 2 videos on your own time. But we have 2 videos of, the first one is, why do we carve pumpkins? And it's only a minute and a half, but it will give you some information. It may be some fun Snapple facts or interesting facts about pumpkins and why we carve them in the first place. And then source number 3 down here, it's all about, it's a how-to of how to carve a pumpkin from an expert as well. So make sure that you watch those on your own time and use the information that you're getting from these 2 videos and that last article to include into your essay. Now let's look at your actual assignment for today. Now that we know your assignment is to write an essay about how to carve a pumpkin, we know we don't just go in and start writing our final draft. The first step is we have to brainstorm. And so we're going to be using our circle map once again, but this time we want to think about all the information we just learned from the article and from the 2 videos, and of course anything that we know just from experience. And we're going to fill out this circle map on how to carve a pumpkin, or if you want to think of it like a jack-o'-lantern, how to carve a jack-o'-lantern. You want to think about every single piece of material that you're going to need, and you're going to type that here. You're going to think about any facts or tips or anything interesting maybe that you learned from your sources or that you know, and you're going to include that over here under tips and facts. And then think about the 3 basic steps. If you had to break it down into just 3 very basic steps, what would you say those are? Okay, and remember, we don't need a whole lot of detail here. This is just to brainstorm and get all your ideas from your head onto this circle map. All right, so again, your assignment is overall, by the end of the 5 days, we're going to be writing a how-to essay on how to carve a pumpkin. Go back and review the sources from the article and the video to get some more information to help you fill out this circle map for today. So again, today, you're just filling out day 1 circle map for the materials, the tips and facts, and the 3 basic steps of how to carve a pumpkin. And if you see here, this says down here, stop. And whenever you see a stop sign, that means we're gonna stop right here. Because on all these other slides, we have a next, but once you see a stop, that means we're gonna stop here for the day. All right, let's go be writers.